Elizabeth Taylor was known for her timeless beauty and elegance. In this video, I'm going to uncover the untold history of her favorite beauty products and how they've been used throughout the years. Hello lovelies, my name is Laura and I'm a lover of all things vintage and beauty related. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the history of Elizabeth Taylor's favorite beauty products and how they have evolved over time. Some of these products might be familiar to you, but others might surprise you. So stay tuned and get ready to be amazed. Thank you, Leifin, for sponsoring this post. As you know, I love all things vintage and enjoy collecting vintage beauty appliances. When it comes to my hair, I don't like to take any chances and I don't have time to spend 30 minutes drying my long hair, so normally I would just let it air dry. I only wash my hair once a week for this reason, but now I am so excited to cut down my hair drying time with a Leifin Swift hairdryer. And diving into the history of the hairdryer is a long and interesting one. The first hairdryers were invented in the late 1800s, and they quickly became popular among women who wanted to achieve the perfect coiffed look. The early hairdryers were large and bulky, and they required a lot of time and effort to use. In the 1920s, new and improved models began to hit the market, and by the 1930s, hairdryers were common household appliances. Today, there are dozens of different types of hairdryers available, each with its own unique features. Whether you're looking for a powerful blast of hot air or a gentle flow of cool air, there's a hairdryer out there for you. So the Leifin Swift is 110,000 RPM high-speed brushless hairdryer that can dry hair in 3 to 8 minutes without causing heat damage. And I tried it on my long hair and it was 5 minutes flat. It was insane. I'm actually shocked. It is extremely quiet when working and lightweight and portable. Additionally, it incorporates a clever thermal control system and an LED air temperature display ring. Leifin Swift hairdryer has sophisticated technology to lower noise levels while maintaining airflow and drying power. It is a fast drying small hairdryer. It helps to dry hair in 5 minutes because of its 110,000 RPM brushless motor. Leifin is also the first hairdryer manufacturer to introduce new features on auto shift mode, cool, warm, hot for every 2 seconds, which dries and protects hair in a more comfortable manner. Due to its superior performance at an inexpensive price, Leifin Swift is a wonderful fit when compared to other popular fast-drying brands on the marketplace. So make sure you check out this hairdryer in the link below and the pinned comment. Alright, let's jump right back into the video. Elizabeth Taylor was one of the most captivating actresses of her generation. Born in London in 1932, she made her film debut at the age of 9 in the movie Lassie Come Home. She quickly rose to prominence with her performances in National Velvet and Father of the Bride, but it was her role as Cleopatra in the 1963 film of the same name that made her a global superstar. Over the course of her career, Elizabeth appeared in more than 50 films, winning 2 Academy Awards for Best Actress. In addition to her work on screen, Elizabeth was known for her high-profile romances, including her marriages to actors Richard Burton and Edie Fisher. She passed away in 2011 at the age of 79. Elizabeth Taylor was an icon in every sense of the word, and she will be remembered as one of Hollywood's all-time greats. Elizabeth Taylor was one of the most beautiful women in the world, and she had a purse full of secrets to help her maintain her legendary look. From her early days as a child star to her later years as a Hollywood icon, Elizabeth always knew how to make an entrance. So what are Elizabeth Taylor's favorite beauty products? Elizabeth loved stories and Elizabeth loved telling them. This is no different when it came to her favorite beauty products. Elizabeth would often say that one of her best tips for looking young was to use Jergens face cream on your face before bed. She would massage the cream into her skin and then sleep with a washcloth over her pillow to prevent staining on the pillowcase. In the morning, she would wash her face with cold water and see a noticeable difference in the appearance of her skin. Elizabeth was also a big fan of red lipstick, and she always had a tube with her in case she needed a touch-up. Her favorite shade was Elizabeth Arden Rouge, and she was known for applying multiple shades of red lipstick and collected Elizabeth Arden lipsticks. In addition to being perennial chic, red lipstick also has the benefit of making your teeth look brighter. Finally, Elizabeth was known for her luxurious locks. She firmly believed that larger is better when it comes to hair. Mendelssohn claimed that in order to increase volume, Taylor's hairstylist Jose Eber would be told to wash but not condition her hair. Taylor used hair rollers and a careful method of blow drying each area one at a time in order to create her distinctive blowout bobs or intricate updos. Even while the procedure was time-consuming, the outcomes, like all of Dame Elizabeth's particular beauty rituals, speak for themselves. Elizabeth Taylor was one of the most beautiful actresses of her generation, and her beauty was the stuff of legend. But what were her secrets? In this video, we'll take a look at Elizabeth Taylor's beauty routine and see what we can learn from it. Elizabeth was known for her beautiful and luxurious skin, and she achieved this by using only the finest products. She also made sure to get plenty of rest and drink plenty of water. Elizabeth was also careful about her diet, and she made sure to eat plenty of fruits and vegetables, amongst a little bit of fried chicken here and there. Finally, Elizabeth believed in the power of positive thinking, and she always radiated confidence. Elizabeth Taylor had a genuine love for cosmetics and makeup, in addition to her inherent beauty. Although her overall style was one of unrestrained glamour, which is adamantly less in vogue today, her routine was jam-packed with items and methods that have since been proven to be cutting edge. Taylor frequently applied her own makeup for both red carpet appearances and movie performances, such as her portrayal as Cleopatra, which required dramatic eyeshadow play. When she did start to use makeup, she always applied it herself, she once revealed. "When I was younger, for a long period, I didn't wear any makeup on films," she once stated. She loved makeup and enjoyed applying it as much as seeing the finished product. She is believed to have spent hours perfecting her face before going out, carefully moving from feature to feature. Tim Meddleson's Taylor's personal assistant recalled that Taylor would spend up to 30 minutes concentrating on her lips before spending 1.5 hours on her eye makeup, simply because she enjoyed it. From her 1960s bouffants to her 1980s teased crown, Elizabeth Taylor's hair remained consistently thick and full. She didn't condition her hair since she thought it would make it too sleek and wanted it as big as possible. She had anticipated that you would need to go from one to the other, but modern product improvements and sulfate-free choices negate that necessity. Elizabeth's preference for inexpensive skincare brands like Jergens contrasted with her taste in jewelry, and she frequently indulged in meticulously applying the lotion to her skin. The Jergens Soap Company, the precursor to the Andrew Jergens Company, was founded in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1882. The business had grown by the turn of the 20th century to encompass several cosmetic and beauty care items, and it would soon introduce its most well-known item, Jergens face cream. She gradually added more upscale brands like La Prairie, while steadfastly sticking to Jergens. Her eyes, which were notable for their distinctive violet tint, were an essential component of her attractive appearance. Taylor insisted on having eyeliner, and she favored Clinique over any other brands. An eyeliner from Clinique was one that Taylor always used, according to Francesca Tolot, a makeup artist who worked with Taylor. Instead of going with the traditional black choice, she chose to work with a buildable gray tint. Following a 1968 article in US Vogue that questioned whether having great skin is indeed possible with the right skincare regime, Clinique was created. Evelyn Lauder, the daughter-in-law of Estee Lauder, U.S. Vogue editor Carol Phillips, and dermatologist Norman Orentreich, MD, collaborated to create a brand that applied dermatological principles to cosmetics. With outlets in 135 different countries, Clinique was first introduced and is now amongst the most well-known skincare and cosmetic brands on the market. Yes, it is a further component of the enormous Estee Lauder machine. And Elizabeth Taylor adored lip gloss. Obviously she did. After all, she is Elizabeth Taylor. Taylor always added a layer of shimmering gloss over her complimentary lip liner. Whether the trend was in or out of style, her go-to brands included Chanel. Chanel is one of the most iconic fashion brands in the world. The Chanel logo is instantly recognizable, and the brand's classic designs are coveted by fashionistas around the globe. But Chanel is more than just a fashion label, it is also a beauty powerhouse. Chanel was founded in 1909 by Gabrielle Coco Chanel, and the brand's first fragrance, Chanel No. 5, was launched in 1921. Chanel quickly became known for its luxurious and sophisticated fragrances, and today the brand offers a wide range of high-end cosmetics, skincare, and perfume products. Chanel's legacy continues to this day. The brand remains at the forefront of the fashion and beauty industry, and its products are cherished by women around the world. Elizabeth Taylor gave her eyebrows a lot of attention. Elizabeth had always paid special attention to the tint and contour of her brows. She always carefully filled them ever since she was a little kid. One of her grandchildren, Eliza Carson, has a positive memory of Elizabeth Taylor's brows. I may be biased here, but my grandmother did have the nicest eyebrows. Her eyes were emphasized by gorgeous, thick eyebrows that were completely individual to her. And as a way to exfoliate her skin, Elizabeth Taylor shaved her face. Elizabeth would shave her face, and this provided a clear canvas for applying makeup, a procedure that is today known by the slightly more medical phrase dermaplaning. The procedure, which can be performed by a professional or carefully at home, removes dead skin cells at the layer of soft peach fuzz hair for a more radiant complexion. Dermaplaning is a process of exfoliation that has been around for centuries. One of the earliest recorded instances of dermaplaning was in ancient Egypt, where women used sharpened rocks and stones to scrape off dead skin cells and peach fuzz with their faces. Dermaplaning continued to be popular throughout history, especially in the Victorian era, when a smooth, porcelain-like complexion was all the rage. In more recent years, dermaplaning has experienced a surge in popularity thanks to celebrities like Kim Kardashian and Chrissy Teigen, who have openly shared their love of the treatment. If you're considering this treatment on your face, it's important to understand the history of the technique and how it can benefit you. Elizabeth Taylor would take a brief bath after doing her makeup to set it and give her skin a dewy sheen, going against the standard order of getting ready. Thankfully, the same look can now be achieved with a straightforward highlighter or a nice setting mist. Elizabeth Taylor was the first celebrity to unveil her own perfume in 1987, which went on to have 10 more incarnations. Today, the scents serve as a point of connection for both her loved ones and her fans. According to Carson, my grandmother's perfume is the one thing I never go without. I wear her perfume, whether it's gardenia or white diamonds, to channel a picture of her tenacity, commitment, and compassion, and just to be reminded of her.
Elizabeth Taylor's Passion. Available at Bell.
Elizabeth Taylor personified everything that was old Hollywood, including the sparkle and glamour. The talented actress was renowned for her extraordinary beauty thanks to her piercing blue-purple eyes and dark hair. She wore rubies, diamonds, and emeralds frequently because she adored ornate jewelry. She also used a lot of luxurious skincare products, especially towards the end of her life. She did, however, make a reasonable exception. After all, Elizabeth Taylor was born in 1932, a period of history that was extremely turbulent. When Taylor was just 7 years old, the Great Depression was in full force, and she and her family decided to leave Europe out of concern for the impending Second World War. Whether you were raised by an A-list star or not, your pragmatic, economical upbringing will stay with you. She also chose straightforward, useful, and efficient items when it came to her holy grail skin cream. The 8-hour skin protected face cream from Elizabeth Arden was one of Taylor's go-to skincare items. This holy grail face cream has been around since the 1930s and is regarded as a cult favorite. In the nearly 100 years after it was created, the ingredient list has remained unchanged. This cream, which is made of petroleum, is soothing and moisturizing and keeps moisture in for at least 8 hours. It is also very versatile. You can use the skin protectant as a hand cream, a treatment for chapped lips, or a moisturizing hair cream, as well as an ultra hydrating face cream. For any chapped, rough, or irritated skin, this all-in-one solution is ideal. You can use it as a brow cream to get Elizabeth Taylor's renowned precisely shaped brows, or use it to shield your skin from windburn while engaging in outdoor activities. This item was created by Elizabeth Arden herself, and even after all these years, it still holds down. To say that this product is iconic would be an understatement. 8-hour cream was developed in 1930 and has since become as cult as they come. Queen Elizabeth used Elizabeth Arden twice daily to moisturize and prevent dehydration. The Queen has granted Elizabeth Arden the Royal Warrant, which designates a business that frequently provides goods and services to the monarch. And what does 8-hour cream actually do? It got its name because one of Elizabeth Arden's clients applied the balm to her child's wounded knee and saw a noticeable recovery 8 hours later. Petroleum and vitamin E are included to nourish the skin and seal any damage or irritation, and it is still good for repairing skin that has been affected today. It works wonder for dry skin and even on your elbows. It also is great if you want a glossy eyelid and even as a highlighter on your cheeks. Professional makeup artists love to use it because it gives your skin a dewy glow. In 1910, beauty pioneer Elizabeth Arden welcomed clients into her first salon. Her business went global and transformed the image of women's cosmetics. In 1884, Elizabeth Arden was born in Canada. In 1910, she established her own salon in New York City. Arden played a significant role in elevating cosmetic use. She had started selling her goods abroad by 1915, and her business was on its way to becoming a household name. Arden passed away in 1996 at the age of 81. More than 100 Elizabeth Arden salons were operating at that point. On December 31st, 1884, in Woodbridge, Ontario, Canada, Florence Nightingale Graham, who would become Elizabeth Arden, was born. She was raised in an agricultural family that struggled to make ends meet as the fifth of 5 children. Graham took odd jobs as a young girl to support her family. She then studied nursing, getting interested in the lotions used to cure burns, and briefly worked as a secretary before leaving Canada. Graham moved to New York City in 1908 and soon after found employment as Eleanor Adair's assistant. After gaining significant industry expertise, Graham committed $1,000 in 1910 to launch a salon with Elizabeth Hubbard as a partner. The company had a Fifth Avenue location. Graham's collaboration with Hubbard had ended in 1914, but she chose to stay in the cosmetics business. She also started using Elizabeth Arden in the name of her salon. In an effort to expand her company, Arden employed a group of scientists to create the face cream and lotion that would serve as the initial goods in her new range of cosmetics. In order to modify the public's perception of beauty products at the time, cosmetics were more frequently associated with prostitutes than the reasonable lady, so Elizabeth Arden created a marketing campaign. The fact that makeup became more socially acceptable as the close-up became a common filming technique that helped Elizabeth Arden. By 1915, Arden's brand was growing and she was starting to do business internationally. She started a salon in Paris in 1922 and eventually developed shops in Australia and South America. The business was doing so well by the 1930s that it even managed to thrive through the Great Depression, generating more than $4 million annually. Arden was not just a successful businesswoman, but also a devoted feminist. She took part in a march for women's rights in 1912. The 15,000 suffragettes she marched with donned red lipstick provided by Elizabeth Arden as a show of unity. Later in her career, she would create a unique line of cosmetics for female military service members. Arden also pioneered the way for several current standard beauty goods, such as travel size items. She also pioneered in-store makeovers and ran a number of upscale spas where guests could escape the outside world and be pampered and treated to beauty services. Arden's desire to succeed was greatly influenced by her rivalry with the Polish beauty businesswoman Helena Rubinstein. The two women worked to outdo each other in the creation of new products despite never having met in person. Arden expanded her business empire while basking in wealth it had provided her, buying racehorses and tending to them with the same level of care she gave her customers. After founding the Main Chance Farm in 1945, Arden was profiled on the cover of Time magazine the following year for her achievements in the traditionally male-dominated sports of horse racing. Jet pilot and Arden thoroughbred won the Kentucky Derby in 1947. On October 18, 1966, in New York City, Arden passed away. The public didn't understand she was 81 years old till after she passed away to create the sense of everlasting beauty she had hid her age.
By Elizabeth Arden this year. They're just the loveliest beauty lines that any woman can have. You know, Elizabeth Arden goes to a great deal of care over her Christmas presentation sets. There's such a wide range too, priced from just a few shillings. Ask your Elizabeth Arden retailer to show you the charming range of bluegrass or memoir cherie created by Elizabeth Arden.
Elizabeth Taylor was a true style icon, and her beauty looks are some of the most iconic in history. Her cat eyeliner, voluminous lashes, and ruby red lips were her signature, and she always looked impeccable. Elizabeth knew how to work her best features and always looked glamorous, whether she was on the red carpet or just running errands. She was also unafraid to experiment with different looks, and she frequently changed up her hair and makeup. Elizabeth was always ahead of the trends, and her looks continue to inspire women today. From her smoky eyes to her perfect skin, Elizabeth Taylor was truly a timeless beauty. And Elizabeth Taylor is one of the most recognizable figures thanks to her Oscar-winning performances and effortlessly chic look. And let's review some of her top 10 beauty and hair moments from the past. Elizabeth Taylor was the epitome of glamour, and her beauty looks always complemented her style. In this 1950 photo shoot, Elizabeth curled her hair, and statement red lipstick are the perfect match for her dazzling emerald green gown. Elizabeth was known for her experiments with makeup, and she always looked fabulous. From subtle to smoky eyes, Elizabeth knew how to make a statement with her makeup. She was also a trendsetter, and her bold choices inspired other women to experiment with their own looks. Elizabeth was a true icon, and her beauty looks are still iconic today. Elizabeth Taylor's hair and makeup looks have always been ahead of her time. For her wedding to Michael Wilding in 1952, she sported a sleek, polished eyebrow look that would be coveted by brides today. Her eyebrows were perfectly shaped and groomed, framing her face in a way that accentuated her features. Elizabeth Taylor's wedding makeup look was simple yet stunning, and it is still an inspiration for brides who want to achieve a timeless look on their big day. Elizabeth was a true icon, and she was known for her dramatic looks and impeccable style. And she was always ahead of the trends, and her 1955 studio portrait is a perfect example of this. Her short haircut was envy-inducing, and her red lips and winged eyeliner were stunning. Elizabeth set the standard for Hollywood glamour, and she remains an inspiration for many actresses today. Thanks to Elizabeth, we know that sometimes less is more when it comes to makeup. A simple look can be truly impactful, and Elizabeth Taylor proved that time and time again. And she was a true pioneer when it came to beauty and makeup. She wasn't afraid to experiment with bold new looks, and she always managed to pull them off with confidence. One of her favorite makeup looks is this orange lipstick shade. It's both daring and beautiful, and it really makes her stand out from the crowd. Elizabeth was always ahead of her time when it came to fashion and beauty, and she continues to inspire people today. And Elizabeth was definitely known for her dramatic lips and eyebrows. Elizabeth also had glossy lips and perfect curls that were always styled to perfection. In this studio portrait from 1955, Elizabeth looks absolutely stunning with not a hair out of place. Elizabeth was always ahead of the trends, and her makeup looks were flawless. She is truly an inspiration when it comes to beauty and makeup, and her iconic style will never be forgotten. And Elizabeth Taylor was definitely one of the most beautiful women in the world, and her iconic status was cemented with this now famous portrait captured by photographer Norman Parkinson. The image shows Taylor at her most glamorous, with her lips painted a bright red and her hair styled in loose curls. She looks every inch in the Hollywood superstar, and it's no wonder that the portrait caused such a sensation when it was first released. In an era when natural beauty was prized above all else, Elizabeth Taylor's glamorous looks were a revelation, and she quickly became known as one of the world's first style icons. Thanks to her impeccable sense of style and unrivaled ability to pull off any look, Elizabeth Taylor remains one of the most influential figures in fashion history. And her red carpet looks never fails to wow. In this portrait, her hair was swept back into a chic updo and packed with heaps of volume. She teamed the look with winged eyeliner, embracing some of the biggest beauty trends of the 1960s. Elizabeth's makeup always accentuated her best features, and she was never afraid to experiment with new looks. From smoky eyes to vibrant lips, Elizabeth had a signature style that was truly unique. Even today, Elizabeth Taylor's beauty and makeup looks continue to inspire women all over the world. Elizabeth Taylor's portrayal of Cleopatra in the 1960 film became one of her most iconic roles, not just for her incredible performance, but her memorable hair and makeup looks. Elizabeth's makeup artists used real gold dust to accentuate her eyes and false eyelashes up to 4 inches long to give her a dramatic look. Her hair was styled in multiple ways throughout the film, from intricate updos adorned with jewels to loose flowing locks. Elizabeth Taylor's transformation into this legendary Egyptian queen was truly breathtaking, and her beauty looks have been endlessly copied and intimidated by actresses over the years. And thanks to Elizabeth Taylor, Cleopatra remains one of the most iconic and enduring film characters of all time. Elizabeth Taylor was unrivaled in her beauty, and her makeup looks always stopped the show. For her wedding to actor Richard Burton in 1964, she added a floral headdress to complement her yellow gown and bouquet. The effect was stunning, and Elizabeth looked like a true queen on her special day. And she was known for her love of dramatic jewelry and bold makeup, and she always took risks with her style. This willingness to experiment is what made Elizabeth such a style icon, and it's what we remember most about her today. Elizabeth Taylor was a true Hollywood legend, and her influence on fashion is still felt. Thanks to Elizabeth, we know that more is always better when it comes to fashion and beauty. Her signature looks continue to inspire women today. In the 1980s, Elizabeth was known for her voluminous curly tresses and her dramatic red lipstick. Elizabeth would start with a luxurious beauty routine that included mineral-rich mud mask and a deep conditioner treatment. Then she would blow her hair using a large round brush to create volume. Finally, she would apply her signature red lipstick. Elizabeth's timeless beauty looks have inspired women of all ages to experiment with their own style and embrace their own uniqueness. Elizabeth Taylor was known for her timeless beauty, and she had a few favorite products that helped her achieve her iconic look. Elizabeth was a fan of Elizabeth Arden 8-Hour Cream, which she used to keep her skin looking soft and radiant, and she also even wore her own perfume, White Diamonds and Gardenia, amongst all the other ones. In addition to these products, she also used Jergens face cream to moisturize her face at night and to remove makeup, and she would do this before red carpet events as well. And by using these products, Elizabeth was able to maintain her signature look throughout her career. And thank you for watching, and make sure you check out my Audrey or a Marilyn video. Alright, see you guys soon. Bye!